Hello there and welcome to the Wellness Code Academy channel. I'm Jennifer Ellis Schutz, chronic illness and complex PTSD warrior and former high school educator of nearly 2 decades that transitioned into becoming a functional health practitioner and transformational coach, and now founder of Wellness Code Academy. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a deep dive into the 5 most critical concepts I had to learn to heal from the grips of often disabling chronic health challenges, and that I now teach my clients in my one-to-one coaching practice. Let's dig in. So whether you're a self-healer on your own health journey or a practitioner that works with those who are struggling with chronic health challenges, you likely understand the complexities of them, that the road to healing is not a linear one or without many challenges, as well as just how awesome, how necessary, and how amazing it can be to learn breakthrough information that can shift the whole trajectory of one's path. Well, the 5 concepts that I'm going to be sharing with you today were absolutely breakthrough, pivotal shifts in my path, and I'm confident that they will be for you. So here we go. The first one is radical acceptance. So here's the deal. When people find themselves deep within the depths, or vortex, I should say, of chronic health challenges and the many life issues that accompanying them, they often have a tendency to slip into major resistance mode about both the past and the present. The past, I'm talking about ruminating on past painful hurts, betrayals, things that didn't work out, failures, setbacks, etc. And when we're resisting these things, we tend to ruminate on them, playing them over and over and over again in our minds with the hope that we can change them in some way. And then in terms of the present, we resist our current circumstances with all our might, that we just want to do anything and everything to change them as quick as possible. And this often puts us in desperation mode, where we don't make mindful, informed decisions, and also just resisting what is. And if there's anything that I learned, is that reality wins 100% of the arguments that it gets into. And when we're in a constant state of resistance, ruminating about the past, and just not in a space of acceptance about our present circumstances, we continue to deplete ourselves of vital energy reserves that our body, mind, spirit system needs so desperately to heal. And until we kind of loosen the grips and relax, and I'm not saying resign to our circumstances, but accept them for what they are. Yes, okay, I've got an autoimmune disease. I'm chronically challenged. I can't do what I used to do. And relaxing around that, taking deep breaths and softening our grips around it so that we can create space for solutions to come in. So that is number 1, radical acceptance. Number 2 is radical responsibility. So when we have chronic issues going on, we want so bad for somebody else to give us our exact solution, to fix us, to lift the burden of pain off of us. But once again, reality wins 100% of the arguments that it gets into, and this is just not realistic. Others, such as doctors, coaches, practitioners, gurus, therapists, counselors, whatever, can be our guides, they can be our mentors, they can make suggestions and recommendations, they can support us along the path. but nobody can fix us, heal us. They can't give us our exact prescriptive solutions that we need, and we can't find everything we need in one place. And at the end of the day, the most important work we do is the work that we do in our daily lives in terms of our habits, how we care for our bodies, the decisions we make, how we think, how we talk to ourselves, and just overall how we show up in our lives. Because somewhere along the lines, how we have been showing up in our lives has largely contributed to how we ended up in this current circumstance. So we need to take full responsibility. We need to accept that, yes, shitty things happened. Yes, I'm in a current shitty scenario, but I'm going to take full responsibility for my outcomes and my healing. And until we do that, we're going to be wading in the waters of victim mode. And I'm here to tell you that no healing will ever take place when we're in a victim mindset. So that was number 2, radical responsibility. Number 3 is the concept of allostatic load. So allostatic load is just a fancy term that refers to the stress and trauma that builds up in our system over time, years, likely decades. And it becomes issues in our tissues. Literally, it accumulates in our fascia, it accumulates in our muscles, in our cells, and in our organ systems. So think of it like a stress bucket. We all have a stress bucket, and that stress bucket gets filled with life experiences, pushing beyond our capacity, not taking care of ourselves, toxic relationships, and the list goes on. And when that stress bucket is full and it has no more space, just a little bit more stress causes it to overflow, and that's when the system starts to crumble and chronic dis-ease makes its way in because we became vulnerable hosts. And until we start ladling out that allostatic load and taking daily measures to literally shake stress and trauma out of our body with appropriate body to mind, so bottom up, working with our body, restorative movement, maybe Tai Chi, massage, self-massage, stretching, gentle walking, and also shifting our mindset at the same time while implementing all of the necessary lifestyle shifts. These are all critical to ladling out that allostatic load, removing that stress burden. The next concept is chronic cell danger response mode. And this was a absolute huge game changer when I learned this. So it's this: mitochondria, the energy producers of our cells, have 2 primary roles in the body. Number 1, to produce ATP, cellular energy. But number 2 is that they are environmental sensors, and they're constantly scanning our internal and our external environments for threats. And depending on how much threat versus safety that they perceive, they will shift out of energy producing mode and into the direction of defense mode, where they will down-regulate all vital metabolic functions, such as immune function, energy production, neurotransmitter synthesis, hormone production, and the list goes on. And so when we think about this, we also have to understand that threats, as I've already mentioned indirectly, as I shared the other factors, is that threats can be both physiological and psychological. So physiological, eating foods that trigger inflammation in the gut lining, taking medications and supplements that also trigger inflammation but might be unbeknownst to us, being exposed to environmental toxins, for instance, hidden mold in one's workplace or home, over exercising or being sedentary, not getting enough sunlight exposure, going to bed too late and sleeping in too late in the morning, so a completely jacked up circadian rhythm, having chronic infections within us that need to be appropriately addressed, and the list goes on. And then there's psychological factors such as perfectionism, all or nothing thinking, catastrophizing, filtering, meaning gripping so hard to our beliefs that our mind will filter out information only to support those beliefs. And the list goes on. And so when we think about chronic cell danger response mode, we can't help but become informed and recognize that we need to step back and take a look at ourselves and our life and ask ourselves what factors could be causing my mitochondria to get pissed off and shift out of peace and energy producing mode and into the direction of defense mode. And then we need to take consistent action to shift those factors. So that's really important. And then the last one is the understanding that minerals, so I'm talking calcium, potassium, sodium, boron, lithium, and the list goes on. Minerals are the spark plugs of cellular function. So when they're depleted and deranged, our cells are not going to be working appropriately or firing until we can balance them. And also, it's important to know that not only do minerals represent the physical body and what's going on with our functions at the cellular level, but they're also mirrors of the emotional body. And because of this, I used and now use hair tissue mineral analysis in my coaching practice with my clients so that I can take a look at how their body is functioning at the cellular level over a 3-month period of time in terms of energy production, nervous system function, hormones, immune function, detox capacity, and the list goes on, but also how much allostatic load and unresolved trauma that they have in their bodies, as well as personality patterns that might not be serving them. And there's no other lab test that gives this big picture of a look into how the body is working, both physiologically and psychologically, or mentally and emotionally. And so the hair tissue mineral analysis absolutely serves as an amazing blueprint for, organizing the healing journey ahead. So anyway, those are the 5 game-changing critical concepts that I learned in my healing journey that I now teach my clients in my coaching practice. If you would like to learn more about our hair tissue mineral analysis training, you can do so. It's called Holistic HTMA Pro, and it teaches the hair tissue mineral analysis through the lens of trauma, psychoneuroimmunology, and transformational coaching. And you'll find a link to this training in the video information below. Anyway, that's a wrap. I hope today's message resonated with you, and I look forward to sharing more of our work with you in coming videos. Cheers to your healing, resilience, and success.